Welcome to New World Order. As COVID case numbers rise, it's good to see the government taking social distancing seriously by making sure anyone who's feeling ill is getting a test 300 miles away from their family. Experts are saying that the second wave of the pandemic could kill more than the first wave. But you've got to weigh that up against the fact that we had half-price burgers for a month. During the first wave, people were on their doorsteps clapping for the NHS. During the second wave, they'll be on their doorsteps because they're being evicted. We're now in a situation where we have to choose between pubs and schools, certainly not to compromise any of the teachers at my school ever made. Boris Johnson is apparently miserable because he's worrying about money. He can barely afford a nanny, never mind the costs of the child he'll inevitably have with her. I should say that if you're struggling to concentrate, feeling depressed or lonely at this stage of the pandemic, please remember these are all perfectly normal responses to the 5G signal. Matt Hancock, a man so anonymous that people turn the lights out on him when they leave the room, is the least believable person to give scientific advice since the Octonauts expected us to believe a cat turnip was an expert on algae. We're being led by a Prime Minister who looks like baffled loft insulation, while the Cabinet, the cast of Carry On Lord of the Flies, have been busy threatening to use warships on desperate refugees whose boats could be taken out with a well-aimed golf shoe. The government can't be far off announcing the next stage of dealing with the virus, an extra purple wheelie bin for the dead. There seems to be little effective opposition. Labour looks like it's going to spend 4 years chasing the approval of newspapers that wouldn't stop backing the Tories if they crop dusted the whole country in hot shit. The government has been warned that their Brexit manoeuvrings could affect their chance of getting a US trade deal. This is one of the most serious threats that the United States can make, short of returning James Corden. Okay, let's get on with the show. Joining me to discuss the week's big topics are Miles Jupp, Sophie Duker and Jamali Maddox. Well, what's caught your eye in the news this week?
This week, actually, the Queen has been fired from head of state of Barbados because the places in the Caribbean want to become a republic again. So Jamaica are considering it, and Barbados have started the process of getting rid of her, which is, it's just another person who's lost their job in coronavirus, isn't it? And I'm kind of like worried that because she's lost that job, she's going to be more of a queen here. Sort of like when my dad left my mum, that my mum gave me too much attention. You know what I'm saying?
Did they wait then until the coronavirus to fire her? I mean, presumably normally we'd be like to have those sort of conversations face to face.
Yes,
But it's easier to fire the Queen
over video chat.
when she's just sort of squinting into a webcam, wondering what it is.
That's true.
What about you, Sophie?
It's been sort of a weird news week. I kind of had to come off social media for a bit because there was some weird stuff on there. I basically saw on Twitter that Morrison's is selling these wet bags of eggs. Not just like bags, but sort of like amniotic sacs of wet boiled eggs floating in urine-coloured fluid, like a sort of bubble tea made by a psychopath. And this upset people. It went trending on Twitter, and Morrison said that they the eggs that are actually in the salad bar that are left over, and they put them in bags for people to take home because they didn't want them to be wasted.
I saw the picture. I mean, it looked like a giant scrotum or something.
It's horrible. But also the thing of being like, oh, we don't want to waste them. It's like we don't like pick up the discarded chicken bones from bus stops and boil them into stock because we don't want them to be wasted. I feel like lockdown's sending people crazy.
How much is the bag of eggs, you think?
£1.
£1?
It's a vibe.
Do you know what? It's not a bad price. I know, like, it's disgusting, but at the same time, 10 eggs for £1.
So, our first motion tonight, we have no need to fear technology, is something you'll be convinced of by drugged nano porridge in a robot concentration camp. It's time to start worrying about technology. I can't believe people are complaining about 2020. This is one of the last years before a robot hunts you down and gives a binary scream of triumph as it pulls out your entire cardiovascular system and holds it aloft like a Ford Focus wiring loom. Technological advances create new problems. I base all my passwords on my first pet and my mother's maiden name. So if I do forget, I can just think, what was I called when I was in porn? But tech also has an upside. Those Amazon algorithms are amazing. The other day I got some fluffy slippers and a message came up saying, people who bought this also lay dead in their armchair for a full fortnight being chewed by their cats. As someone in the public eye, the rise in deepfake technology is both fascinating and alarming. Who knows what people will do with my image? keep picturing my robotic great-great-grandchild crying petrol tears whilst they're shown a horrific video of me gleefully grunting as I fuck a horse, and then shown a deep fake of me not fucking a horse. Joining us to discuss technology, please welcome Victoria Corin Mitchell!
Cursory applause.
I fear technology and I fear how fast things are moving and the direction they're moving in. Do you have any of that?
Yes, I'm broadly against. I bring up my daughter as 1988 Amish. So she can have anything up to and including the fax machine. But then I think, because I think we had all the good stuff by then. You know, we had the VCR, the tape, SodaStream, I wouldn't be without it. The microwave for the early adopters, that jury's still out for me. But we had all that in 1988, and then it started to go wrong. Now, you know, the Apple Watch I read the other day can test the oxygen levels in your blood. So if you think, well, I know the government and big business know where I physically am at all times, but what if they don't know what's under the skin?
I mean, data is very frightening, and it's becoming a big political battleground. You know, that's how elections have been won.
But when you're asked the question, accept or cookies, you always just think, well, I'll just accept the cookies, because I want to find out what this person looks like now that was famous in 1972. Why is 88 then? Why was that specific
Well,
year?
it was
Did you
about
research
that
it?
sort of time. Pre-internet is the key. There's nothing good about the internet at all.
And when you say 88 internet,
This is what you could do in 1988. I'm guessing you're 78 years younger than me, and you will never know the excitement of when the screen of the ZX Spectrum went pink, and sometimes you could play Frogger. It was all good, but oh no, it had to be all child porn and giving your data away. I liked it before.
I mean, I do feel uneasy about social media. I mean, like, just so many elements of it. You know what gets me? Attractive people pulling ugly faces. Like, is my life a fucking joke to you? You're like a tourist in my town.
There's a really annoying thing where people are like, reality. Like, they post, like, this is the reality. So they post, like, a hot picture, and then they're like, actually, I'm slightly wider than that. Or they do a little disclaimer, they're like, this picture was taken while I had an eating disorder and a lot of makeup on, so don't feel jealous. And it's like, I don't care.
Well, I mean, maybe I'm a bit down on tech as well, because, like, I can still remember my mum looking at non-stick pans coming out of, like, the washing up pot going, this is amazing. And now, like, I look at a drone or something, so what?
It's true, you get absolutely used to this level of technology, and then you're terrified you can't do without it. The idea, the panic you feel if you've left your phone somewhere.
who's going to read a map now? Like, I'm not going to read a map.
You'll enjoy this. Not only do I like a map, I take the map out the night before, and then I write the journey down as a narrative. Because I find a map a little bit challenging, so I will write, when you get to the old post office, turn left.
Yeah, but you can't, like, press the map and then order a pizza.
If I had no technology, honestly, I would not be able to find my way anywhere. I've got no sort of sense of direction.
Why do you need to go anywhere? You don't like your house?
It's quite
I thought
narrow.
you had a nice family. What, you have to be somewhere?
You've left your house tonight, you appalling hypocrite. But I can't, honestly, unless I've been sort of shown things very detailed, and I think that technology has helped me in that regard. And I'm not terrified of it in that way.
That's the reliance on technology. There's a moment when it breaks down, when there's a glitch. It must happen. And there we all are, all over the world, with no access to heat or light or communication or finding anywhere, or our own money or our own information. And they can just, I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist on this, but they can just switch it off like a tap.
Who's they? The Chinese.
The people with all the money and power. It's not me, I know that much.
There is no basic level of survival, because I went to LA one time, and I went to downtown LA to get a coffee, and I was there, and I left my phone in the Uber, and it's gone. And like, literally, there was a moment where I've got no phone, so I don't know where I am. I can't get back to my Airbnb. I can't do nothing. I'm just stuck in downtown LA. And I literally just looked up and looked around. I just went, I live here now. Like, that was it. That was my existence. The majority of people don't know how to, fish or hunt or, read signs to go places. It's just
How did you get back to the world?
I begged, I literally, and I just looked like a crazy guy running around. But yeah, like I left my phone in the Uber. I'm not meant to be here. I just wanted a coffee. Can I use your phone? And people was like, nah, you can't. And it took me about like 6-7 hours to someone let me use their phone.
But if you'd had a traditional skill like being able to fish, you'd have been all right.
I would have still been there now. I would have been the king of downtown LA.